Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I greet you, as always, with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive the gifts, the healing, and the wisdom from the universe. Now, um, the subject for this evening is about fear. Hello, Max Vision. Pleased to see you. Um, there was a lot of gunplay over the weekend, both in El Paso and in kind of sort of my hometown of Dayton, Ohio. I still have relatives and ancient friends up there, um, and we all have to admit that there's some crazy people in this world, just flat out. We have to just it does exist. Crazy folks who've got twisted thoughts, brains, ideas, and who knows what's going to trigger these folks into doing something vile, mean, bad, and nasty, such as what happened over this weekend. Now, the reason I'm not going to discuss it is because of certain, you know, algorithms within the topic, using the subjects and the word shooting, blah blah blah. So I'm going to stay away from that. But the biggest thing is what has happened. It continues to install fear, and it reinforces the fear that's in people. And that fear does breed hate or hatred, if you will. And that if you don't understand something, the first thing you're going to do is question it. Well, I don't know what that is. And the first things that we do as human beings is we back off of it and go, well, gee, I don't know if that's really a good idea or not. I have reservations about it. And so many people, then that triggers a fear effect within themselves. And that fear inside then comes outward. Because if you fear something inside, it's going to show up on the outside with people that you meet. Um, it will affect your thought process. It will trigger you quicker to go into that my most famous word, pissed offness. In that it will trigger us to become more fearful, more hateful, more whatever it is. And some of us, because of the fear, will just crawl back inside and just stay there. And that lowers our vibrations to it. It's just unbelievable how much fear will lower your vibrations, lower the vibrations of a lot of people. So when these mass incidents happen and we don't really understand why, what prompts somebody to go out and go bang, bang? I in my realm of thinking, there's no way I can have those kinds of thoughts. But then there are other folks who are just, they ain't wired like you and me kind of thing. So we have to understand that there's craziness in the universe, okay? And there's going to be craziness in the universe. Will we ever wipe out craziness in the universe? Probably not. But the last thing we need to do is to be afraid of craziness. It's not going to do us any good, because out of 100 people, there's one crazy, you know, individual is thinking way over here in their own little realm kind of thing. And of course, for many years, folks thought I was crazy, and I probably still am. But the idea, though, that we have to instill fear, the chaos needs to continue. And I have spoke about this before, and I want to reiterate this, is that it seems that when the chaos starts to die down a little bit, they got to ramp it back up. Now, were these people triggered? Don't know. It just, the whole incidents and the timing and things, it's just really strange. But what it does do, regardless of who did it, how many were injured or were killed, or it's sorrowful, and we should pray and send out our good intentions to the universe that this kind of stuff just, stops happening. But at the same point, the more crazy the world is with the fear and, and the hatred and the white supremacy and the this and the that, oh my God, They're trying to drive us batshit crazy with the fear mongering in the world. And it's promoting more hatred. If people had a little bit of hatred on the sidelines, now they're stirring the pot really big. It's like they got a huge cauldron of stuff. And, they're just stirring this mess up. The MSN crowd folks, every time you turn around, I'm a racist, you're a racist, we're a racist too. And because I subscribe to, that there are conspiracies beyond our control that are controlling things, I am now, well, because I'm an old crazy hippie and got busted for weed, I'm a detriment to society. And now all of us who think that there may be a larger cabal type conspiracy going on in the world, we're now all labored, we're the killers now. So all of us have been put on notice that if we think outside of the box, or we don't think that there is a box to think out of, like myself and other people, but that now we conspiracy theorists are terrorists because we promote, non-truth. We promote things that are different from what the mainstream folks think. So therefore we are a threat. Therefore we are, to be feared. And with that, so that we to be feared, what do you think that's going to set up? Now they're going to hate us even more. What do? Stay calm. That's what you need to do. It's in the last 2 days, it's been difficult for me to ignore what's going on. And a couple of days ago, I told a friend of mine, I said, there's something in the air. Something is fixing to happen. I don't know what it is. There's something, and it's got my insides just, I'm praying against it. And then less than 6 hours later, we've had these, the one event in El Paso, and then the other one followed up with Dayton. And I hope all my relatives and friends up there are still okay. Haven't been in touch with them yet. But anyway, with that said, though, now those of us who think differently spiritually, we're listed in the conspiracy section of things. And so therefore people are going to fear us even more because they don't understand what we're trying to talk about. Well, wait a minute. Do you think that's really true? Well, I don't know. You're part of that conspiracy group now, aren't you? So now they've set up a whole nother level of fear. Okay. And in that fear, it's going to bring hatred, because anything that you don't understand, especially if you're bombarded with things from the outside, you should be afraid of this. These people are strange. If you conscribe to this kind of stuff, then you're part of the problem. You know what I mean? So they're building this up. Now, how do we deal with these things? Well, in a variety of ways. Now, first things first, though, when you deal with fear, if you're being fearful of the things that are going on around you and in the world and so forth, you may have fear issues within yourself. Now, I know myself that I still have some fear, issues. As many years as I've been working on it, there are still little triggers that happen within me myself. So I'm going to sit here and tell you, yes, recently my fear number has gone up a little bit, and I still can't figure out why. I'm fearful of some event. And it's like, but I don't understand what it is. So I can't sit around and go, oh my God, I'm worried about I'm full of fear, blah, blah, blah. That drags my energy down. So I have to say, well, there's something that seems to be fearful out there, just out there. But somehow they're trying to push it upon me, upon us, upon the general populace. And they're trying to make sure that we all stay in this chaotic state. Now, I've talked about this before, and it does bear to be, reinforced, if you will. You got to work on the fear issues within yourself, because if there's something that you're fearful of, okay, maybe you're fearful of living in a neighborhood and walking to the store without getting shot. That's a big ass fear. I don't have that problem down here. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist or that people don't go crazy down here. But there are a lot of gun-toting rednecks around here, and people don't shoot each other up. I mean, I'm just saying, you got to be whacked in the head to want to do some of these things. So the idea of gun control, it's already being controlled. What we need to do is keep an eye on these folk who are being a little crazy, and who are spouting off some of these hate messages. And, I try to speak against the hate as much as possible, but they're trying to bring another level of hate into the chaos of stuff. And what better time now than, about a year before the elections and so forth. So everybody is hating one another. We're all going to be, oh, it's the gun control. It's the not gun control. It's the killing. It's the not killing. It's the fear mongering. It's the fear porn. And here we go again. So they're trying to drive us mad. I mean, quite frankly, they're trying to drive us mad with this stuff. And what we need to do is look inside of ourselves and go, pay attention to the fear. Now, the chaos, I spoke on this, and I would like to bring this forward again. I talk about the cacophony of the chaos in the world. We need to watch what's going on. It's very important that we watch what's going on. But do we need to throw our emotions into the rest of the fear? And the answer is no. Because as a shaman in training, each of us needs to understand that we need to control our own fear. Now, I live down here in the South. There are a lot of, gun-toting rednecks. It's always been this way. But we don't, we've had some mass shootings. It's usually family related or some kind of, break into a home and it's home invasion. And that's a bad thing. It really is. But, am I going to sit around and be afraid all the time that somebody's going to break into my house, blah, 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 blah? No, you just can't live that way. So if the fear is overtaking your own personality, then maybe you should take a look at fear and understand what fear is. Now, fear, some people are afraid of spiders. I still have an issue with spiders, but not like I used to. I still have an issue with certain other things in life. But again, I try to understand, listen, I know these things over here have a little bit of fear attitude, and they have a tendency to trigger me if I'm not paying attention. So one of the things is you set up a little internal switch that says, you know what, that right over there is trying to trigger me. It's trying to trigger me into some more hate, more name calling, more whatever, more division. And we have to allow that switch to go off and go, wait a minute, hang on. Something's trying to trigger me. I don't know what it is. Let me take a look at it. So the first thing you have to do is understand that when this fear and the hate starts to come up, well, I hate them people who do this. I don't like them either, okay? But the more we say, but I hate them, and I hate this, and I hate that, and it promulgates the word hate. Because all of these words are very powerful. So they want us to be afraid. They want us to be afeared. They want us, tugging at each other's neckties and choking. And you don't believe what I believe. I don't believe in toting guns. Well, fine. But do you believe in personal protection? Well, I don't know. But, and this and that, arguments set up, families, separate, all these other things go on, all because of the fear-based paranoia that's out there. And it seems like they're trying to ramp it up. Now, for those of us who are aware, and all of you, I blessings to all of you, understand that we need to keep our emotions out of this. We need to be very careful. Yes, it's a bad thing. Yes, we should pay attention. But do I need to cry, weep, and mourn, and do all these things, and spend all this energy on the negative part of this, on the fear-based part of this? And the answer, quite frankly, is no. Because if we allow the fear to overtake us, then our whole person changes, our frequency changes. And then not only that, then we start harboring hate. And you might say, well, no, it doesn't. But if you harbor the fear long enough, you're going to hate the idea that you're fearful. You might not hate a particular group or person or things, but the fear in itself will promulgate hate. I hate this feeling. So we recycle. It's the hate. I'm afraid, and I hate this feeling, and I'm back to fear, and I'm back to hating, and I'm back to, oh wow, boy, what a bungee cord kind of ride, up and down and back and forth and being stretched in all directions. So the first thing we need to do is say, hang on, they're trying to make me fearful. Now, instead of being fearful, what we need to be is aware. Wow, that happened in my hometown, Dayton. Okay, now I was born in Cincinnati, but I was raised for 7 years in, 6 years in Dayton, and I've got many family members still up in that area. But to my point about this, I can't be fearful if one of them got hurt, shot, or something like that. Now, I haven't heard, and I think I would have by now if one of my family members had been injured. But that's not the point. I'm still knowing what I know about Dayton, and I'm going to keep this, condensed. But what I know about Dayton is there's a lot of strife up there, and there are a lot of black-white issues kind of thing, and there's a lot of hatred and fear mongering that they promote to the blacks. Listen, you black folk, you need to fear these white people, because they got guns and they're going to protect their property. And to the white people that, well, listen, these black folks, they got guns too. And now we need to, and, these folk over here, and, oh, stop it, oh, stop it, please. We need to get out of this race kick. There are white people, there are black people, there are Mexican folks. I've met some Mexican people who are just as kind as the day is long, but then there's one or two that just they want to pull a knife out, they want to pull a gun out, they want to fight you, and it's like there's one in every crowd. So what we have to do is understand, are you going to be afraid of one person who might go batshit crazy, or are you going to live your life? We need to live our life and be aware of these things, because of all the things we cannot allow ourselves to do right now is allow our frequencies to get lower. When we fall into fear, it lowers our energies and our vibrations. When the fear takes us into hatred, I mean, I hate the folks who are talking to, I'm using this as a metaphor kind of thing. I hate the people who are driving this fear porn. I dislike them intensely. You know what I mean? So it instills in me, well, here are these, I'm afraid of these idiots who keep promoting fear and who keep promoting the chaos and the division between us. I don't like them folks at all. But if I use the word hate, well, I hate them people. And I'm just going to sit here and step back and go, I do not like what you folks are doing, but I refuse to be a part of that. I'm going to keep my emotions out of this. I wish to do something positive about the incidents of people wanting to shoot each other, kill, knife, stab, run over them with a bus. It doesn't matter. People want to hurt other people. They're few and far between, but they're there. And we have to pray that these folks just get their brain gets fried or something, and I don't know, and they quit thinking that kind of stuff. I don't mean to kill them, but come on now, let's and that's not a gun, that's just a zapper. Let's zap their part of their brain where they don't feel like this, please. So my prayers are in that area. But I have to absolutely admit that my fear level went up the last couple days, because here's all of this, there's all this stuff going on. Explosions, everybody's talking about racism again, and now the guns going off, and oh my God, here we go, some more. So how do we deal with it? First, go inside yourself and say, okay, what am I afraid of? Well, these people are, first you identify the fear, whatever it is. Fear of spiders, for example, for me. Okay, so what did I do? I started allowing spiders in certain places, and I started observing spiders. And rather than being scared of them, I took the opposite approach. I'm afraid of you because I don't know you. You're creepy crawly, and when you're on my arm, my senses go wacko, and all I want to do is swat, smack, and scream like a little girl. So, and yes, I can do a high-pitched scream if something crawls up my leg in the middle of the night, But to the point, though, it's that understanding the fear, where my fear used to overtake me, I'm fearful for not much of the, for a short, very short period of time. And then I realized, oh crap, it's fear, you know, the same. So we need to establish within ourselves a switch, a warning, a little light, a bell goes off, whatever, however you want to term it in your own terminology. My spirit guide taps me on the shoulder and goes, Hawkeye, this is, pay attention. Oh shit, I allowed myself to get sucked into this. Now, how I get sucked into the fear, among the fear and the hatred thing, the hatred's not there, no, for me anyway, nowhere near what it was a few years ago. I was hating on some folks because, and I still dislike them, but I stopped using the word hate because it is just so phenomenally bad, I guess, in using it over and over and over again. So as a shaman, we look at these things and we say, well, wait a minute. Every time I use that word, I can bring my own frequency down. Is that what I want? No. Is that my objective? It's the opposite of my objective. I wish to promote love, peace, and harmony. So if I use the word hate just once in any kind of thing, I'm already tearing down the idea that I'm trying to promote love because I use the word hate. So you have to look at these things internally and go, well, wait a minute. There is something to this. The words we speak, the feelings that we have, and how our intent goes out. Now, my intent of positive prayers is still going out there, but there's this little bit of thing of fear that's going, oh my God, they're trying to upscale this thing. They're trying to get more people involved in the shooting. Oh my God. So there is a fear in me that, oh my God, who's up to this mess? I thought we were kind of getting over this, and here we are again. So there is a fear in me that, son of a bitch, these idiots are trying it again. However it's being triggered or whatever the incident, it's going on. Now, are these things pre-planned to make us fearful and hateful? I don't know. There are a lot of triggers going on out there for certain people. And if they're already in a disposition of such, that, it wouldn't take much for them to just say, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go bang, 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 bang. Just saying. There are some people, though, that go in a different direction, kind of sort of like me, in that a couple of years ago, it got so much I started doing YouTube videos and saying, wait a minute, we got to stop this mess. You and I can stop this, because if we live in fear all the time, it will breed, because of because the correlation between fear and hatred, we will start lowering our vibrations, and we can't do that. We're on a cosmic level roller coaster wavy thing going on right now. Some more solar winds are coming in. There's a lot of cosmic energy hitting this planet and stirring things up. So there are outside forces that people really and truly don't have a clue about, nor how should they deal with these energies. And so if they've already got fear and their anxiety level goes up, and they've already sort of in a panic mode ish kind of thing, then the hatred vibration goes up. And so we need to, as Barney Fife would say, we need to nip this in the bud. And so have a bud, whether in a can or in a pipe or a bowl or a cigarette. We need to nip this in the bud and understand, listen, it is tragic. It's a bad situation in so many realms, but let me keep my emotions out of this. I need to keep praying for the positive effects. I need to keep looking towards a better outcome of this. We as a society need to say, we don't like that, but I'm not going to hate on them. Because whatever triggered these individuals to do this, they're warped up here somehow, because most of us would never, ever think about picking up any kind of weapon and harm any other being, versus, let alone people. I mean, I don't hunt animals. I used to, but now I don't. I've had to change a venue in that. I mean, I had 6 or 7 chickens go missing, probably from the foxes around here. And what am I doing now? I'm feeding the foxes in the neighborhood. I've got two, a male and a female, and two young ones that have just showed themselves in this last week. So I'm out there feeding foxes so they won't eat my chickens. But there's a cause and effect. Why are the foxes getting into my chickens after all these years? They're hungry. There's not enough local food. So it has set up a different pattern. So in my realm, as a shaman, I look out and I see these and I hate them foxes for what they're doing. But wait a minute, but they're a fox. They're doing what they do. So there are people who are wired like foxes or like whatever. And so when we see some of these behaviors manifest themselves into, nasty bang, bang, blah, 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 maybe they were a fox, maybe they were a possum, maybe they were a bear. I mean, to the extent that this is who they really and truly are. So can we condemn them for who they are? We can condemn them for their behavior, but we don't understand their thought process. Not that I want to go in there and think about it, but to the point though, what else was going on? There are a lot of things we don't see. For example, for those of you who know about Dante, what if whatever was going on was to create a diversion from something else? What if other people were killed in a situation that, there are 1 or 2 people who needed to be taken out, and there was a lot of, excess to try to cover up the targeted individuals? I don't know. But the thing is, there's so much else going on this planet and in this universe. And to be able to just say, well, these people, and it's the guns. Listen, you can put a gun on the table and it will lay there forever until a person picks it up and pulls the trigger. A person. Dogs can't fire them. They might knock them off the table and the gun go off, but only a human being, maybe a monkey or an ape or some that's got an actual finger. You can't just put your paw in there and pull that trigger. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, humans will figure out a way to kill, hurt, maim, or whatever another human. It's their thought process. A gun can just make it easier. It's more distant. But if you think that person if they didn't have a gun, they would get a club. The tendency in their brain to do what they do is there because of fear. They don't like these other people, and these other people are going to take over. So in my hatred that is born from the fear, I'm going to go get my gun and I'm going to kill some of these sons of bitches. Whoa. See, it's a one great big giant nasty circle, and they keep trying to pump it up. Now, are these incidents related? Not sure. Were these individuals triggered? Well, they had to have been. Otherwise, they would have done it at another time. They would have done it before now. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever is going on is triggering more individuals somehow, some way, whatever. We need to stay out of that fear. If I go into a shopping center and I get cut down, then it's my time to go. Do I like it? No. Is it horrible? Yes. There are all these other things, but we need to stop this. Well, I'm not going to go out because maybe somebody's there. Well, yeah, there is somebody there, and they may have a knife. They might have a gallon of gasoline. They want to blow up a car. There are some strange individuals in this world. I've met a few of them in the insane asylum. I mean, seriously. And some of these folks, they need to stay under medication and locked up out of society. But there are a lot of other people out there who, get these wild ideas in their heads, but something hit them, something triggered for them to be fearful enough and hateful enough to carry out the next step. You see where I'm going with this? So if we stay out of the hate and the fear, we can't fuel the fire subconsciously, or it's over here. But if we all stay fearful, then fear becomes the primary energy that's being tossed around. And so we got to stay in the positive. I don't know how I could go into a bunch of explanation, blah blah blah, but we need to just find the positive. So if there's something on the outside that is making you fearful, chances are there's something on the inside that still needs spiritual work. I know that folks, well, I don't know. I'm afraid of somebody shooting me when I go to the store. But what's that got to do with with internal fear? Well, internal fear of dying, internal fear of blah blah blah, there's a long list of internal stuff that if you understand where your fear is coming from, then that fear turns into awareness and not fear. I'm going to be aware. Am I afraid of snakes and when I'm walking in the swamps? No, because fear will promulgate itself. In other words, if there's a snake nearby, they can smell fear. So if you're going to go walking in the woods and you're going to see wild animals and so forth, you need to change your fear to awareness. So you're aware that if you come upon a critter that might bite you and kill you, that you're going to not step on it, you're going to be aware of it, and it changes. So this fear-based thing that, your idea is as good as mine as to why things seem to be ramping up again. But it is dog days, and weird stuff happens in the summertime, just like it does happen in the wintertime. But, stuff happens. But what triggers somebody? Current events, something in their life that said, I'm not putting up with this anymore. Don't know. But we can all say, there are folks out there who are being triggered. Do I want to be one of those people? And my answer is no. I want to stay out of the fear of this. I want to make sure that I've got my own sense of judgment, my own awareness. So if I go somewhere, I'm aware of the people around me. Am I scared? No. But if somebody pulls out a gun and one shot goes off, and if it doesn't take me, I'm hitting the floor. I'm finding cover. I see some of these other people who are like, I don't know what to do. They run around, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, boom, hit the floor. It's really hard to hit somebody when you're behind a row of canned goods or something. I mean, just saying. So, look at, wait a minute, if I get in a situation like this, so instead of being afraid, you be aware. What would I do in a situation like that? Well, I don't know. Wait a minute, hit the floor, hit the ground. Boom, get down, So if you have a plan of action and you say, instead of being afraid, fearful, and allow this stuff to take over me, I got a plan of action. Somebody, if a bear comes, you have a plan of action. Don't stand there and blow the whistle. He's going to eat you and the whistle. But to the point, though, if you're being attacked, there are certain things that you can do. You might get mauled, but, if it's a big ass bear, you can clobber it upside the head. You can spit in its eyes. There are things you poke a bear in the eye and he's going to stop trying to eat you right away. Just saying. But I always carry a walking stick. You can put a walking stick down their throat. There are a lot of things you can do. So instead of living in fear over nature and crazy human beings that like to shoot things or club things or kill or knife. I mean, trust me, guns ain't the only way people get killed. Stabbing is a really big, it's quiet, it's simple, and a person can bleed out right away if you stab them correctly. It's the individuals, not the weapons. Person wants to do harm to another, a brick will do, a rock will do, a stick will do. So it's not about the weapon. It's about what these folks are thinking. So we need to stay out of their realm of fear. Look at what makes us fearful and say, well, wait a minute. I might not get out of a gunfight, but I can hit the ground. I can learn how to dodge a bullet, if you will. I can learn to pay attention to certain key things, certain behaviors with people. If somebody's got a long coat on and they keep reaching in their pocket or something, keep an eye on them. Maybe you should, say, I see this person coming in. I'm going to finish up my grocery shopping and go on to the house. I mean, there are lots of things we can do to avoid circumstances. Now, with that said, I can't tell you how to deal with your fear, except that you need to identify it. You need to go inside and identify it and say, well, and then when you find it, say, okay, I'm afraid of going to a store and some punk ass is going to pull out a gun and shoot me. All right, then work out. Well, wait a minute. There are certain stores that are more prone. So I'm not going to go to that store because I like it, but maybe it's a circumstance. So am I going to walk in fear? Well, no, if you live in a bad neighborhood in Chicago, and I've been to the south side of Chicago, oh, trust me, you talk about a war zone. Police don't even want to go there. And so, and that was years ago, and it's even worse now. So, with all the Chicago shootings and stuff like that, I'm sorry, but if you continue to live in a neighborhood and you know people who are there, there are things you need to do. Get outside the fear. You may still get shot if you're living in Chicago because all the folks are packed in together, and there are more crazy people per capita that there is down here in the South, but per density of population, I mean. So what does this mean? It means that we need to take charge and stay in control of our own emotions. Yes, it's fearful. Yes, I agree. Is it tragic? Absolutely. But do we want to focus on that, or do we want to focus on correcting it in the future? And I say, as hard as it is, and as hard as it may seem to each one of us, to deal with our own fears so they don't turn into hatred. Well, I hate this thing and I hate that thing. We really have to stay off of that. I know it's difficult, and a lot of people say, Hawkeye, you're just plain full of shit. Because it's nasty stuff going on, and you're going to stand there and preach love and kindness? Well, Jesus was being nailed to a cross, and he said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So I'm not saying that I'm Jesus in any sense of the thing, but in the grander scheme of everything, to being afraid of, oh, but somebody might nail me to the cross. Somebody might shoot me. Something can always happen. I went outside my house a couple of years ago to get some firewood, and a tree limb fell out of the sky, out of my big oak tree, landed on my head and knocked me out for several hours. I was literally laying in my own yard with a great big tree limb. It was a big ass tree limb too. But am I afraid to go outside? No. Am I afraid the tree's going to throw another limb at me? Well, maybe. But the circumstances were, the fear. Oh my God, I went outside to get firewood and the tree limb hit me and knocked me out. And oh my God, I'm fear. There's still a little bit of that in me because I live by myself down here. But you have to deal with the fear. So with that said, I want to read your comments. I'm just going to be repeating stuff over and over again, and I do not wish to do that. So Lori Hardy, pleased to see you. Son was caught off guard today, staring at the clouds, had a light appear and almost like Morse code flash over and over for what seemed like 5 minutes. I was aware it was not a trick of my mind. I saw a similar thing last night, early this morning, just before sunrise, son. Max Vision, good to see you. Paul from Newcastle, blessings to you. Sun was more than neat, like a sun or a lighthouse, like flashing at me only was something else. Sun says it felt peaceful and enlightening. We'll reflect on the message. Yep, that's what we got to do. We get messages and downloads and things all the time, and one thing is to, you receive the download and then it takes you maybe a couple of days or a week, sometimes a month for me to cogitate on the, on whatever the topic is, because I want to make sure before I do a video and have a conversation with y'all that I kind of sort of got my ducks together, my shit in order. You know what I mean? Lori Hardy, let's see, Paul from Newcastle, just think it. Late at night on TV, you have horror movies, crime shows, news just before you go to bed like a spell. Yeah, that's true. Lori says that's why I don't watch mainstream TV. Son says, field level hazard assessment, removing potential hazards, eliminate danger by going to safer places. Agreed. And son, you can go to safer places inside yourself as well as external too. So there are things that that people are afraid of. I mean, I've still got a fear for spiders, but it's nowhere near what the level was before. So you can change your level of fear, I guess, by dealing with it on a one-to-one basis within yourself. But I can't tell you what's fearful to you. I can give you suggestions. Someone else could give you suggestions about how to deal with your fear. But ultimately, it's our own internal thing that we need to deal with. And the hatred thing, I think I think the idea that any type of fear can build and load into a hatred thing. So I don't need to go into talking about hatred. We all know what that is. We all know all the different guises and things that it takes. So, but understand that every time you use a word, there is energy behind it. The word hate, well, I hate that person. I hate that. I did a video, I don't know, some months back about hate and the use of the word and the connotations thereof. So if we say, you know, I dislike or I don't like, I try to stay out of the not, do not, the negative connotations, but in the sense that I don't like fear or I don't like what these people are after. I would rather use a word that says, I dislike these individuals, I dislike this behavior, and I dislike the way it's having an effect on humanity as a whole. But do I hate? Hate's very powerful, but it's being bandied about so much. Hate, 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 hate. So, you know, that's stirring up this, the hidden emotions, if you will, because the word keeps going out there. This, and I hate that. I hate my shoes. I hate chocolate ice cream. I hate that, you know. So we change our frequencies by how we speak. I dislike them immensely, which could mean hate. But I'm going to say I dislike immensely because you pretty much get the idea. Well, I dislike immensely. You know, I can stretch that out. A four-letter word, you know, that's like F-U, you know, or there's hate, or there's a lot of four-letter word has so much connotations and so much energy behind it. And people toss it about and bandy it about. And so we need to remember, I don't like it, trust me, but do I use the word hate? No, got to stay away from it. I don't want to feed the fire. You know what I mean? And all of us, I don't like what them folks are doing, but stay away from the hate words. Stay away from certain things that will trigger somebody else. If you say, well, I hate these people for what they did, or I hate the Democrats because they want to take away our guns, or I hate the Republicans because they're all for guns. I hate that. Stop it. I don't agree with the Democrats. I used to be one. I don't agree with the Democrats. I'm not a Republican either. I'm just a voter. But the idea, though, that if I continue to use the word, then I'm going to continue to spread the energy of the word hate. I know it sounds like, well, that's just a long shot there, Hawkeye. That's why I'm here to point out, listen, there are little things that we do in our lives. We don't understand that, oh my gosh, maybe it's playing into a bigger field. It's playing into the cosmos. It's playing into the quantum. So the more of us who shove the word hate into the universe, the more hate evolves. Crazy, I know, but that's part of what's going on right now, and has been going on. And if you think that it's all going to go away simply because we all lift our vibrations, oh hell no. There's going to be people out there that are going to refuse to the last breath to change their vibration and to bring in love. They love the idea of hate. I know that's a weird thing, but they get off on it. You know, the Ted Bundy, you know, they get off on it in a certain way, whatever crime of whatever they're doing, they love a portion of it. They don't fear it. They don't hate it. They love it. So, but for the rest of the population, that's a hateful thing that they did. Oh my God. You see this thing, but even a mafioso, In the old days, the Godfather deal thingy, blah, 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 they're all about family. So did they love people? Absolutely. But did they conduct business in an atrocious way? Probably, let's go swim with the fishes kind of thing. So people can love even though they hate, even though their point of view is different from the rest of us. They still can have love in their hearts, even though it may be a little twisted in their point of view. It's thumbs up. So is that wrong? Not in their world. Do we understand that there's going to be crazy people after we all go through this? Absolutely. There is a yin and yang in the universe. If we got rid of all evil or all people who thought bad thoughts, there wouldn't be a correct balance. Now, the correct balance is, or would be, that people are still going to have their cheating, wicked kind of ways, but are they going to try to murder everybody? It's their level of hatred, their level of whatever. So what we need to do is, I don't necessarily want to change their mind in that you believe what you want to believe, but I want to send an intent out there for the people who may get triggered and cross the line and then take action. That's where I want to focus on. May we all pray that people who may do one of these nasty things, or a group of people, that they stop and think about it and go, wait a minute, do I really want to do this? Or am I just going to go, what the hell, I'm caught up in this and I'm going to do it. And that's that. And I say, I'm hoping everyone else, these are the times that try men's souls. And that we need to pay attention even more. Are they trying to swipe my energy? Probably. Are they trying to create, and by they, whatever news items triggered these people, something triggered them. Now, whether it was an MK Ultra or somebody triggered these individuals individually, don't even want to go there. But the fact is, these people are getting triggered somehow. And that's a fact. Okay. Do we understand it? Is it really important? I mean, seriously, is it really important that we understand the mechanics of what they're doing? What we need to do is have control over our own lives and our own fear and our own hatred. Because if we keep ourselves healed, if we keep ourselves intact, how can they, my stronghold is as strong as it can possibly be. My prayers, my intentions, crystals, things, that I put around me to help maintain the goodness that I put out there, and which also helps to protect me from the evil, wicked, mean, bad, nasty stuff. Now, these last 2 days have been really crappy for me, and I don't want to really go into it, but I've seriously been wondering if somebody hasn't been, I've been leaking too much information or talking about things that, like, oh my God, and trying to and instigate a riot. I'm trying to stop it. I would like for us, wait a minute, there are people who want to go out there and do all these things. Protest if you wish, but if you're going to protest and promote hatred, then please don't. What is your intent? I'm going to go protest. Are you going to protest against guns? Are you going to protest against crazy people? Are you going to protest against, blah, blah, blah? Are you going to protest against the Republicans because they like, or are you going to, where are we going to go with this? So you could just sit at home and say, you know what? I refuse to get caught up in this mess. I refuse to get caught up in the fear, the hatred, the somebody's against somebody. Listen, the universe is a gabillion years old, and it's going to be a gabillion years old in the future. There's going to be good and evil. What we do for ourselves and our particular family and closer in, we protect. So check out what fear is doing to you. And you say, well, I don't have anything inside that's fearful. I bet you, look, I've been doing this work. I'm 67 years old, and I've been doing this work for a long time. And I've been working on fear inside myself for a long time. And trust me, I still have fears. If I didn't have any fear at all, I'd still be able to walk through that wall right in front of me, on the other side of this computer. I'm afraid that I don't know how to do it, so I can't. It holds us back. So there are many levels of this, and we must understand, are they trying to steal my energy again? That's what we need to be aware of. There's more chaos. Are they trying to suck my energy in? Well, yeah, we can still pray for the families. We can still say, I dislike that a lot, and I don't agree with what's happened. But do I have to throw my emotions into this? Do I have to become enthralled and embedded and covered in this nasty fear stuff, divisiveness, easy for you to say? Or can I still say, wait a minute, I see you out there, you crazy people. I'm aware of you crazy people out there, but I refuse to be fearful. I refuse to go into the hatred mode, because that's what they want us to do. And the evil guys, the bad dudes, who knows? They want our energy, and they're doing these things, however it's going on, to try to continue the chaos and the chaotic level so far up here that people who thought they were becoming more spiritual advanced, now they're the water's up to here, and they're looking out there and they're bobbing up and trying to get a breath of fresh air kind of thing, because they feel like they're sinking in this world with all the fear and the hate and so forth. I got to admit, it's like swimming upstream with a bunch of crap in the river that's flooded, and there's a log comes down, it hits you and you got to go under. There's a lot of different ways you could look at what's going on in the world. But the biggest thing is, how do you react? That's what's key. And my angel messages, the higher spirits, however you want to look at it, and I have been talking about this for a long time. We've got to maintain our core values, because they're trying to steal it from us from whatever way they can. And I just frankly, look, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to keep an eye on it, but you can't have my energy on this. That's all there is to it. Can't have it. I reserve the right to accept or reject, allowing my emotions to get caught up in this. And the hours of listening and who did what. Trust me, I used to do this a lot 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, look what they did, and is this a false flag, and blah, blah, blah. Now I look at the events and I go, let's see what happens. Oh, there's not 100 dead. Oh, there's only 50 or whatever, Oh, well, it did happen. No, it didn't. Or yes, there is. Or yes. Wait a minute. The biggest thing is, should I allow my energy to become involved with that, whatever it is they're trying to promote? The answer simply is no. Remember, you have control of your own input. And if you allow it to come in and trigger you in some way, then shame on us. Shame on the individual, because we allowed it. So my trick to this is basic. I have a trigger that I've identified myself. And when I feel this, whatever it is, start to affect me, and my energy starts to go back, it's like, hang on, they're doing it to you again. But there was a shooting, and there were people, and I know. And it was in Dayton. It was in my hometown. Yeah, I know. But I have to stay out of the chaos. I pray, I do the positive. Am I still kind of worried? I'm hoping none of my family and friends are there. But to the point, though, even if they were hurt, is there anything I can do about it now here? None, except for to pray and hope that, people recover and that the incident dies down before it becomes bigger. Shame on us as human beings to allow this to continue. Yeah, they're crazy individuals. There always have been, and there probably always will be, and nothing is perfect in the real world. None of us are perfect. I mean, hopefully I won't snap, but I might snap one day and go down and to the local courthouse and walk around the square with a sign saying, repent, the end is near. Who knows? I know in the past I've kind of thought about that. How do you get people's attention? I don't know. How do you wake them up? I don't know. Should I go walk around town with a sign, repent, the end is near? Not yet, anyway. I know I've been tempted. But to the point, though, so we have the opportunity within each of us to accept or reject this. So my warning is to all of you, are they playing upon your emotions? Are they playing upon a fear inside? I know they are to me. My fear of losing family and friends and so forth. I mean, and I have to be honest to go, yeah, I'm a little fearful, but I understand it. And I go, but I don't want to be afraid. I want a different outcome for this. Wow. Something just wiggled right there. Anyway, I thought I had everything turned off. My friends, I don't really have I've probably gone on longer and about this than I should have. But remember, my friends, you are who you are. And if you allow these little things to seep in, it will corrupt the energy that we need to stay as focused as we can on the good energy. Remember, keep an eye on the chaos, but don't become involved in it. It's very, 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 very important. It always has been. But now with all the other trials and tribulations and things going on the planet and around us, our focus needs to be really strong right now. Be as strong as you can be on the inside. Max Vision, Aurora Rain, hello. Good to see you. Max Vision says, could be a sacrifice for Lionsgate Leo. I agree. There's a lot of things that we don't understand that the bad guys, or girls, there's some gals in there too, that they want to change the energy frequencies. And that's why, whether you believe in the Lionsgate or all it's immaterial whether or not you believe in all these portals opening or whatever. What is important, though, that we all do understand that if our own system is corrupted, our own bodies, our own energies, we're not going to do anybody any good. I mean, it's like a doctor who's right-handed and, somebody steps on his hand and he can't operate. He still has his hand, but the energy, blah, blah, that's a bad example, but we are all doctors in the universe. Artemis, Diana, blessings, Sun, Aurora Snow, Max Vision, Sunset says, rethink anger and consciousness. Absolutely, and a very good point, Sun. Maverick George, hey y'all. Maverick says, drowning, that's exactly how I felt the last couple of days. Very true, and I myself have felt that. I mean, I've got sort of physical issues. A friend of mine came over to take me into town today, and I was so, crashed out. I mean, I could barely speak 3 words to her. And I'm doing this video now because it's like, it feels like somebody tried to take me out the last 24 hours and keep me from, having a conversation about some of these things. But to the point, though, each one of us, we got to stay focused on ourselves so we can help the rest of the world. So Maverick, Sun, Aurora, Max Vision, Lori, Artemis, Paul, anybody else that might be hanging out. I love you all, I do, and understand we got this. But if you think that evil's going to go away, it's not. It just isn't. There's going to be a crackpot in every crowd. We just need to be aware and plan for it and be prepared. Keep your energy strong. So, my friends, I wish to say I love you all, and I honestly do. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for the cosmic hugs that I get from many of you. And I'm going to close this session out with a prayer. Blessings for all who are aware. Take care. Thank you, Sun. And I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive the blessings from the universe. I continue to pray that each one of you, your friends, your family, your relatives, and all of your relations will accept and receive the healing, the blessings, and the wisdom and knowledge from the universe. It's all around us and it's always there. I continue to pray that each and every one of you will keep the energy within you, share it as you can, and share this your own energy and understanding to those around you, and help them to understand that we are all in this together, my brothers and sisters. Oh my God, it's almost an hour and I'm going to close down. I love you all. This is a first, an hour. So my blessings to all of you. Have a great rest of the week. And I'll be back to talk about some other things. I got a live stream tomorrow night with Brian of Milky Way, I think at 9 o'clock. So if you all are around, we're going to do a live show tomorrow. And the discussion is going to be shamanism. So until next time, I love you all. Stay safe, stay kind, be who you are. Until next time, adios, cheers, and blessings to all of you.